Hey guys, I'm really hungry, so I'm gonna make a cake. This is the best basic yellow cake recipe. It's perfect for a layer cake, a sheet cake, or cupcakes. This easy cake recipe is homemade. You'll never need to buy a box cake mix again. If you're looking for a classic yellow cake recipe, you found it. Pin it now to save for later. Have you ever wanted to find a recipe for a cake that also works for cupcakes? Well, look no further because this is it. I got so tired of trying to find a yellow cake that was an all purpose cake recipe that I decided to create my own. If you guys remember, I have a perfect vanilla cupcake recipe and a perfect yellow cake recipe on this blog. But I wanted to come up with one that would work for both. I need a recipe that was moist, light, and airy. It wouldn't make me miss my good old standby, the box mix. Since the basic yellow cake recipe was derived from the cupcake recipe, I started there and managed to come up with a cake recipe that works, makes a 9-inch layer cake, 24 cupcakes, or a sheet cake, all in one simple recipe. This recipe is moist yet sturdy. It can hold up to stacking, fluffy and sweet, and tastes just like a yellow or white cake should. If I'm being honest, white cake and yellow cupcakes are my favorite cake. I'm a vanilla girl at heart. Vanilla cupcakes are perfect for every occasion because you can dress them up with pretty sprinkles or chocolate frosting or any kind of frosting you like. Yellow cake is a blank slate for sprinkles, like funfetti cake for peanut butter filling, or to make into Twix cupcakes or anything like that. If you're ready to ditch your box cake mix, then print out this recipe. It's the only one you need from now on, I promise. If you've ever wondered what the flavor of yellow cake is, it's basically vanilla. This is a basic yellow cake recipe, and I call it yellow instead of vanilla because most people think of yellow cake when they think of a box mix. What makes it yellow are the butter and eggs. The flavor comes from the butter and the vanilla extract. You can use plain vanilla extract or use vanilla bean paste, which I love. So, what makes a cake more moist? I know, moist. It's such a controversial word in the food world. I mean, I guess I could say tender or fluffy, but moist just fits because it encompasses all those things. This cake is tender, fluffy, and not dry. Dry cake shudder. There are a few ways you can keep your cake moist, tender, and airy. I use buttermilk in this recipe. The sourness of the buttermilk helps break down the gluten, keeping the cake moist and tender. Extra baking powder. This cake uses 3 teaspoons. Getting the right ratio of baking powder can be difficult. Too little and the cake doesn't rise enough and is tough. Too much and your cake tastes bitter. 3 teaspoons is just right for this cake recipe. 4 eggs add structure, color, flavor, and moistness to the recipe. Don't overmix it. Don't overbake it. You'll notice this recipe has all-purpose flour, not cake flour. I prefer that because it's easy to come by. Everyone has all-purpose flour in their pantry. Not everyone has cake flour. The main difference between cake flour and all-purpose is protein content. Cake flour has about 8% and all-purpose is slightly higher. This makes for a bit denser of a cake, hence the extra baking powder and a buttermilk in my recipe. A basic yellow cake recipe is perfect to make both cake and cupcakes and is better than a box mix. A classic yellow cake recipe is timeless and perfect for every occasion. I hope you enjoy it as much as we do. Basic yellow cake recipe. This is the best Basic yellow cake recipe. It's perfect for a layer cake, a sheet cake, or cupcakes. This easy cake recipe is homemade. You'll never need to buy a box cake mix again. 5 stars, 4.3 from 17 votes. Prep time 30 minutes. Total time 1 hour 30 minutes. Yield 24 cupcakes. Serving size 1 cupcake. Save recipe, leave a review, print recipe. Ingredients for the cake: half teaspoon of tea salt, 3 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 half cups 310 g all-purpose flour, 1 cup 227 grains unsalted butter melted, 1 and 1 half cup 233 granulated sugar, 4 large eggs, 1 tablespoon 50 milliliters, 1 fourth cup 296 milliliters butter milk. For the frosting, 1 cup 227 grams unsalted butter, softened 4 cups 452 grams powdered sugar, 1 half teaspoon teaspoon salt, 1 tablespoon 15 milliliters vanilla extract, 2 third teaspoon 3445 millimeter heavy whipped cream. Instructions for the cake: preheat oven to 350F. Prepare cupcake pans with liners or grease and flour panes with salt, baking powder, and flour in a medium-sized bowl. Set aside using hand mixer, cream, sugar, and melted butter until smooth. Beat in eggs one at a time. Then mix in vanilla extract. Add dry ingredients, alternating with the buttermilk, starting and ending with the flour, and mixing gently between each addition. Mix until just combined. Be sure to scrape the sides of the bowl. Pour batter into prepare pans. Bake as directed. Cool completely before moving frosting. Bake 10-24 cupcakes, 14-17 minutes. 2 9-inch round pans. 24-27, 9-13-inch pan. 34-40 minutes for the frosting. Beat butter until smooth with your hands or stand mixer. Note if you're using hand mixer, be sure to use a very large to avoid weighing the powdered sugar. Add powdered sugar one time and beat on until caramely mix in salt and vanilla. Add 1 teaspoon of heavy whipped cream at a time, mixing between each eggs until the frosting is smooth and desirable consistency. Frosting area comes with recipe video. Nutrition information: every double calories, 43 carbohydrates, 42 grams, 3 protein, 33 fat, 17 saturated, 10 grams of cholesterol, 74 grams fibroin grains, 30 sugar, 30 nutrition not guaranteed to be accurate. Course is there cuisine, American keyword, cake, safe recipe. If you love your chocolate,